I was loving it. You were kind of like, I have notes.
Yeah, I have notes for sure.
Okay. Hello, everybody. I'm Will.
And I'm Kristen.
And this is So I'm Watching American Horror Story Double Feature Part 2, Death Valley, Episode 2.
Inside.
I'm kind of loving this.
It's good. It's so different.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. I'm like having a hard time parsing it in real time, but I'm having fun.
It is needlessly complicated.
It's way too complicated. There's 3 different timelines. And I'm just like,
There was a point in the middle where we couldn't figure out if we were pre or post Kennedy.
Yeah.
And it was pre, but it's actually something I've never considered before.
That we have like an agreement with the aliens?
Yeah, I've never considered the fact that it's not the aliens I should be afraid of, it's my own government. I've always been very, very trusting of the powers that be. Basically, the aliens, it appears, their world is dying, and they've very boldly come to Earth.
As if our world is not dying.
In a display, well, not in the 40s, in a display, in a bold display of power.
Yeah.
Because you would think, I was going to say, you'd think if they were trying to, like, make a deal, they wouldn't be blowing people's heads off left and right.
Well, the people whose heads they're blowing off are trying to shoot them, so.
Well, the housewife wasn't,
yeah.
But it became clear in this episode that the, like, proposal is more of a pleasantry, like, more of a formality, that they're going to do this regardless.
They just want if we accept it, they will also then share their technology with us.
So our world they're not compatible with our world, so they're trying to breed avatars or bodies or maybe even just
like
young.
Just like half-breeds that have the human capability to live on Earth and the alien
But
DNA.
The implication is that they're going to inhabit them the way they're doing these human bodies, or?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I think they would just be a new
just
generation.
The continuation of the species. Okay. I was like, is there like an arc? Are there aliens coming? Like, I'm not sure, but.
It doesn't sound like it because Angelica Ross was finally in this episode and she was like, who said anything about saving Earth? So I think they're taking these babies back to their planet.
No, because their planet's dying. They're trying to come to, or is it their people are dying?
I thought the people were dying.
Oh, I thought they were trying to inhabit Earth.
We're doing a bad job.
Why?
Well, then just enslave the entire population and impregnate all of them and make this happen. They're doing like 5,000 a year. It just doesn't feel like enough. Like,
okay,
if they're trying to take over Earth, they're doing it really fast.
Well, I didn't so much think it was that they were trying to take over. I think they were trying to come, like, live here as well.
Yeah, I don't know.
We're not really selling it. Basically, they made a deal with Eisenhower that they are allowed to abduct 5,000 people a year in return for their technology, which is advanced, which is apparently how we got the leg up on the Russians during the whole Red Scare,
Sarah
Cold War.
Paulson is really turning in a Lady Macbeth performance. It's pretty good.
Well, I don't know. I really, really like the old-timey stuff, and I find the present-day stuff weaker. However, I'm not finding it as off-putting as so many people are. A lot of fans really hate the modern-day stuff.
So the thing for me is it makes the whole deal so much more relatable because I, like, aside from the performances of Neil McDonough and Sarah Paulson, and Craig Sheffer as Nixon, hilarious. I'm finding all of that stuff more boring and like less easy to relate to. So like the present day stuff is easier to relate to.
I'm not finding it I don't know. Like I said, I'm finding it interesting. And there was a moment where I didn't realize that we were going to be dealing with Nixon, Eisenhower, and Kennedy, and we do like a smash cut to Kennedy in bed, and I was like, he's in bed with Marilyn,
and he was,
and so that part of it, I'm kind of like, this is amazing, this is hilarious, and it's so hacky, it's like, this is just such prime American Horror Story, just like cheap and like ugh, but there's something about it that's kind of delicious in like a junk food kind of way.
Oh yeah.
So they let Kennedy in on which okay, so that's actually, in spite of what I said earlier, that's a thing, is that the government, or that's a theory or a proposal, or like that the government does know, is fully aware and on board with the fact that there are aliens involved, and has been for a long time, and
like 10 years. Yeah.
Well, for like decades.
Oh, you mean in the real world?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And like the president himself is not at that classification, because isn't that even in Independence Day, where the president's like, I've never even heard of this, and like, well, you're not.
Yeah, but it's like, yeah,
my words are failing me. Do you know what I mean?
No, I mean, but Kennedy like took over from Eisenhower, so to me it feels sort of more like it should be like national treasure, where like the president passes on the book to the next.
Well, that's what they're doing.
Yeah.
That's what they're doing here. And I was saying, in reality, it would be above the president's head. Like the president, if we're going this deep, if we're going this sort of like,
I think the only reason it's not is because Eisenhower is the one who, like, he was on the ground floor, like when it started, so it would make sense that he would know, and they would need to pass.
But like, because a president only sits for like 4 years, it's like you're not going to tell every single president like and run the rest. Because I mean, could you imagine telling President Trump? It's like.
Sure. Because then it also reminds me of like the Harry Potter thing, where the Minister of Magic has to go tell the Prime Minister, like every time there's a new Prime Minister, they have to go and tell them. So it's like, I get what you're saying, but I also,
it's well above his clearance level.
Yeah, I definitely get what you're saying.
This is for life, career, lifetime, like appointees and stuff, not for.
Yeah, I mean, on the other hand, though, there's only like 4 presidents ever alive at the same time. So yeah, I mean, I don't know. I would be more worried about the people who aren't as high as the president. Like the military people.
Yeah, well,
like tons of military people know about this.
According to this, I was going to say, because the implication would be that it would be like an elite force, but no, I mean, they were just going around willy nilly. And I do like the detail that with as advanced as the alien technology is, they haven't come up with like brain, whatever the Men in Black, like the brain sweepers are.
Yeah.
That's just still good old fashioned bullet to the head. Yep. And I was like, oh, they're going to erase her memory. And I was like, oh no, she's dead.
No, just kidding.
that feels like the American government. No, I thought it was really, really interesting. I am so curious what question, if we're going to get answers to questions. Well, I was going to talk about, I don't remember what her name was, but the housewife that they blew her head up to.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, Amelia Earhart, I guess she was one of the first ones that they impregnated, and that baby didn't make it.
It didn't work out. The housewife's name is Maria.
Maria.
Well, she birthed something, but.
That lunged across the.
Yeah, I'm also, okay, it seems very short-sighted of the aliens, because seemingly these babies claw their way out, which is worrisome. And secondly, I guess because the humans are disposable or whatever, but like they're impregnating men who can't even give birth, and so it's just like
the impregnating men part is weird to me.
Yeah,
that feels like American Horror Story trying to make a political statement.
Yeah.
Or not political statement, but like trying to make a statement.
It's not my favorite thing they've ever done.
Because how is it? Because are they implanting uteruses in these men, or is it just in their stomachs? Because I mean, it's happening over the course of hours.
Well, I mean, it appears that these babies don't. I mean, they're not, like you said, they're not gestating properly. So I guess it could just be happening like in the abdominal cavity. But yeah, I don't know. Super bizarre. And what's his name? Just can't stop vomiting. Cal. He's just constantly throwing. He's the only one, but he has thrown up so many times.
Well, and actually, this is the first time that like I got irritated, because I'm mostly just like on this ride, but I got irritated at Troy in this episode for like screaming at them as if that was going to work in any capacity. I'm shocked he's still alive as of the end of the episode.
I mean, I think that's rapidly going to stop being true.
We did get a truly horrifying visual in Angelica Ross. I never in a million years could have guessed that's what we were going to get.
Didn't love it.
I did not like it at all. The eyelashes were, for whatever reason, the point where the alien eyelashes on the alien eye was my breaking point.
It was a lot. It was a lot.
It wasn't the lack of fingernails. No. It wasn't the cone head.
I've watched Doctor Who. All of that checks. but the eyelashes on that eye were
and
a
we
lot.
still, I don't know. I maintain that I am thoroughly enjoying the wackiness of this, but I am afraid at the midway point that we are not going to get answers. That this is not going to.
It's also, for me, it's like, it's a lot more sort of avant-garde than Red Tide was, and so it's like there's like a lot more.
It's broader.
Yeah,
Red Tide was very.
It was like a
focused
thing.
and cerebral, and or not.
This feels very metaphorical.
And we got a hint at a affair between Nixon and Mamie Eisenhower.
Woof.
We need Belle Noire to come and write some more erotica.
Yeah, oh my god. I think, first of all, Craig Sheffer is doing like such a fun job with Nixon. I'm enjoying it, but
it's a little over the top.
Well, I'm still enjoying it. They're all kind of over the top, but I love that she like mentioned that she wasn't going to call Jackie after Kennedy was shot because, well, she did so much work on the White House, and then everybody was like making fun of her because it was all pink. I think that's true.
Mike Vogel was Kennedy. He's been in things. Vogel? He was in Cloverfield. He's like generic hot dude.
One.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, okay.
We did get Leslie Grossman is doctor. Oh, she's a doctor.
No, she's like a Vegas showgirl. Her name is Calico.
This is Dr. Calico.
Oh.
On IMDb, and she was a Vegas showgirl that they've abducted, and they're doing something with her. We don't quite know. But
annually.
She was giving Kennedy, she was giving Kendall. She was giving Kendall the most serviceable, the most usable advice.
Yeah.
And also Steve Jobs was there?
Super weird.
I don't know. That's not necessarily something I need an explanation. Well, it's weirder because he's dead. So is the implication that I don't know. I don't know.
But then I don't know. That feels really weird and like borderline disrespectful to me because he died after a very public bout of cancer. Mm-hmm. And so now we're just implying that like JK, the aliens.
It'd be one thing if it was Elvis talking to Dr. Calico.
Yeah, it's like, I know Steve Jobs is a flawed human, but he did a lot for like, you know, technology in the world and stuff. And so it's just a little, unless he like made the deal with them to get that technology so that he could bring that to the humans or something. I don't know. It's very convoluted.
I like that as advanced as they are, they're just a good 50 years more advanced than we currently are.
Yeah.
Like, as advanced as these aliens are, it's like Salisbury steaks and fiber optic cable.
Yeah. Well, that was, like...
It's like...
But I also, the ship or wherever the pregnant kids are is like, I don't know, pretty lame.
It's a little film school.
It's a little film school, and it's a little Soylent Green with like the cubes of different colored food.
I was loving it. You were kind of like, I have notes.
Yeah, I have notes for sure.
I guess I just think it's I guess I think the avant-gardeness of it is.
It's super interesting. It's just, for me, I like avant-garde stuff, but I like a narrative in my American Horror Story.
You like when a family moves to a new town that may have ghosts or zombies or vampires in it, and then they wear clothes that you like. That's what.
I'm a simple woman.
Literally, Murder House, Hotel, Roanoke, and Red Tide are the only ones you've really liked. You liked Coven, okay? Coven's good, but it like the last 3 episodes it loses.
They wear a lot of clothes I like in Coven.
It remembers it's like a beauty contest or something by the last episode.
Great.
It's America's Next Top Supreme. Okay, well, my brain is off while watching this. We got 2 more episodes.
Fair.
To be honest, I checked out in episode 5 of Red Tide. Once we got a serviceable ending to a season of something, I thought the rest is gravy. So, well, we'll be back next week for episode 3 and the week after for episode 4.
Woo!